Hi, welcome to the video. Got a few things to talk about. First of all, just randomly, I just wanted to say I noticed Jay Chuck recently did a bit of a Jay Silverheels in tone of voice change and the odd comment left. Just remind me of it. He went something along the lines of, "And in his place, there is fish, and they've been fed bait by people I don't know of. It most certainly is not me. And you know that winged creature? If I ever see it, I'm gonna run as fast as lightning. I'm gonna grab it by the wings and get right on top of it, boy." It was along the lines of that, and I remember some previous comment he said in a video. What did he say? Oh yeah, he said, "Man, these scooters are parked in weird places. I gotta get out of this city right now. I gotta go." Don't ask me why I remember that, but I do. So, but you know, in seriousness, change tone of voice, it can have positive effects if you're doing some kind of video narration. And you know, Jay Chuck demonstrated it, just like how Jay Silverheels did. But I don't think Jay Silverheels was doing it on purpose. I think it just naturally happened. Anyway, in this video, there's just like a range of stuff to talk about, and I want to touch upon firstly to do with finding and seeing things within the M Cave Veach Mystery. I'd say there's probably less resistance now than what there was in the past. There was a lot of resistance in the past, a lot of dissatisfied people, a lot of people complaining, whinging and whining. Not as much now, so I guess that's an improvement. But I think, no, there is one key point which virtually no one will pick up on. And once again, it is another psychological point, psychological factor. It's an underlying, indirect psychological factor which it can lead to things, the causation. And what I basically mean is, providing it's genuine, obviously, stuff I find, stuff people find that pass it on to me for me to give my opinion or cover, even if most of that was a load of rubbish in the end, because it was proven this, it was debunked as that. What it indirectly does, it either causes a little bit of uproar, it ignites a fuse, and then there's a turning point. Someone, something, a group step in out of nowhere because they have had enough of bullshit, or they've had enough of this, I don't know what you'd call it, messing around and stuff. Oh, it doesn't solve anything. Oh, it's not fixing anything. Stop doing this. And then they come in with their evidence, or they come in with more newer, up-to-date information and say it's how it is. And I bet if you didn't do certain videos, you didn't cause any sound, any noise, nothing at all, stuff wouldn't come to light. So it's not some kind of decoy. It's more of a beacon in a good way, in that it can draw people in. Just like how, in general, with anything, you cover it, you give it a bit of attention, and then more people come in, builds, and whatnot. In this case, it's just basically bringing in the correct people. Has that been successful yet? On a certain level, yeah, it has been in a way. So yeah, just wanted to mention that point because it is a key valid point, which most people won't think of. Why? Because there's no need to, or maybe people just don't think with certain stuff. But aside from that, I want to give an example and demonstration right now of moments and times where people have seen something, pointed something out, time-stamped it, and such of Kenny Veach's M Cave hike video. You know, the reality is there's been numerous things that have popped up or been talked about which I haven't covered in videos. You probably would have seen them anyway if you looked in the comments on other people's videos, and maybe the odd few of mine, but there's been numerous people that have, you know, said, "Oh, I've been out there, I've been hiking and I came across a cave," or "My friend went out there hiking, came across the cave and it was so dark and everything and then he ran away," or something like, "Oh yeah, I've been in that area and I got scared because I saw the creature." And other people say, "Oh, I knew Kenny, he was, I saw him a few days after his disappearance," or oh yeah, I hiked with Kenny once before in the past, and so and so. You know, all these like little stories and experiences people have supposedly had. You know, I've not covered them because, I don't know, they just don't really seem that likely to happen. You know, the only times when I have covered stuff is when it seems like the person knows what they're doing or talking about. I'm not saying that they're 100% true or genuine, but, you know, they seem a bit more, you know, likely because we've got maybe certain stats, certain facts, and whatever. So yeah, there's that to take in mind. That's what I mean. There's a lot more other stuff which I haven't covered, which could be covered, but there's really no point because it's too obvious, I guess, that it's a load of rubbish. What else is there? As I said, I want to demonstrate right now. At times, aside from the recent finding, or no, the recent suggestion by others with that thing around the rock, I saw people say, oh, have you seen Kenny's hike footage at a certain timestamp? If you look down the middle in the distance, there is a big figure. There's a military guy stood there watching him, spying on him. I'll show you the picture or the timestamp now. So as you see from that still screenshot, it's obvious there is nothing there. No figure, no military guy, no creature watching Kenny. It's just simply a bit of vegetation, a bush, maybe a tree, shadowing, shade, that's it. And what I'm trying to get at is moments like that. You just can't really put a case, an argument across to support the original statement of that individual that said there's something there watching him. Because you look, there's just nothing there to demonstrate it. But moments like the keyhole in the past, and I guess the rock recently, that thing appearing around it, and even that M symbol found by Atari in Robin's video, and even those symbols on the rock in Scott Natal's video, and even that sword and tent found. Those sort of findings, you can actually put a point across, some valid point, maybe some kind of research, some kind of demonstration, some example across to prove or to at least reinforce the original argument and statement. Because like with the M symbol on the rock, well, you look at these symbols, they look almost exactly like how they do on that rock, and those symbols are genuine, real things that do exist. And you look at Scott Natal's symbols, well, the area, you know, natives, whatever, people in the past lived in those caves or went out and inscribed and left patterns, whatever, on the rocks. There's a valid point to be made there. And then the keyhole, you know, literally something moves, appears and then disappears, you know, it does look like it could be something, at least at the time. And even that weird orb in the sky when Iwu crew, one of the individuals, said about how, oh, I wonder if we'll find anything. And right after, no cut, something flies past and it's over the military base or military area. Those sort of points and like settings and factors had a time with one another. You can make that argument across. But when you're trying to prove that there's an individual hiding in a bush when there's no shaping of a figure, there's no movement of a figure, there's nothing really you can back it up to support with, so you can't really say anything, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, there is that. There'll probably be like other findings and other stuff which seem a little bit, you know, over the top and not believable. Yeah, that will be the case. I mean, one thing you got to look out for, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before, is you got to check the username and the profile picture of these individuals. If they have maybe a Fortnite profile picture and a certain username which you might see on Xbox, PlayStation, it could, you know, it could hint at the possibility that this is a child, you know. And if that's the case, you can't always take them, you know, serious. You know, there will be people out there, obviously, that aren't messing around and are being genuine. But, you know, I'm just thinking of like the psychological aspect. Have they gone through the, you know, formal operational, pre-operational, concrete stages of development as a child in understanding knowledge and how they've been brought up, or they're still going through that process. Because if they're still going through that process, you know, the mind hasn't fully developed, so maybe some of the stuff they say or some of the stuff they see isn't true. But then you've got someone who's much older, much more developed, they might be able to put a genuine point across. But, you know, that's not to say that's always the case, because there is people, fully grown adults, that will say stuff or pick up on things and it's a load of rubbish. So it can work both ways, to be fair. But from my experience at least, and when I've seen people with a Fortnite profile picture and a certain username, I think, oh, they're probably a child, or they're probably some kind of degenerate, and just, you know, they'll either complain or they'll just come up with a load of rubbish, blah, blah, blah. And it's happened. And then it's happened, and it's happened, and it's just been reinforced to the point where I can generalise with certain stuff, because it tends to be the case most of the time. So if people have said they've seen something, or they've been to the cave, they've seen Kenny, they went out hiking and saw some kind of creature and then ran away, and they just have to have that profile picture with that username, they're lying. That's it. And then as well, all those other people that say, oh, when I finish high school, or when I finish my time and I go outside, I'm going to go and hike out there. And okay, well, respect to you, but it's still rubbish again, because you look at the profile picture, you look at the username and the way they type, and even, you know, do lots of misspellings, finding them from the correct country and stuff. You know, they're probably still, you know, youngish, so they're probably just like saying a load of rubbish. You know, it's pretty, you know, obvious at times. So there's that to take in mind. Is there anything else? Yeah. So whilst you might get people finding stuff and seeing things, I think at the end of the day, most of the time, I'd say, most of the time, it's not always like a direct lead, or it turns out to be something, but it is genuine. If people actually see something, if people actually think something, you'll always get the people obviously messing around and creating diversion tactics and confusion. There is that, but I think quite a few other people, whether they're right or wrong, they're just doing it for a genuine reason, because that's what they think, or that's what they see. So it's not a big problem at the end of the day. I mean, if people want to start getting a bit defensive, having a bit of a hissy fit, let's just remember that there is some people out there who suddenly go from one point to another. 1 minute it's a murder case, next minute the person's alive. I mean, how do you go from that extreme to another? I mean, if it's just like a thought, a theory, it's not an issue, but the times when people go all in with an idea, like how in the past where an individual might have said, I'm 95% certain where Kenny's remains are. Within a certain radius, mile or so, we're going to go there, we're going to locate it and retrieve it. And then next thing, you don't want to get involved with this. We're dealing with a murder case. This is serious. Then next minute, I've seen Kenny alive. I've seen him. I may have seen him. Those abrupt changes, I mean, it can still be genuine, but it gets a bit messy, because if someone goes all in with an idea, or they appear that they are very certain, you know, you might believe in them, and then they suddenly change their mind. And then you think, oh, well, is the next thing you're gonna believe in true? And then if they change the mind again to something else, then do you really know what you're doing? You know what I mean? Some people might like to throw it back at me when it comes to certain stuff. Okay then. But I never go all in on stuff. So I'm consistent in covering a range of stuff. I'm consistent in mentioning a range of different ideas. 1 minute it might be this, 1 minute it might be that. But I don't give my full-on opinion on one thing and go all in with it, because then it would make everything else a bit weird, and, you know, what's the point? And as I said, because of the way I've done certain videos, it's been because someone has told me to give my opinion on it. Someone's passed it on to me for me to give my opinion. So I'm going to make a video of it, just to give an opinion, just the way it works. Whereas maybe some other individuals who might be a bit more hands-on in investigating in the mystery, they might not cover a range of stuff and they just go on and look at things that they believe in, what they have directly found, and that's why they go all in on it, because it's what they have found. They want it to be true. They believe in it. They are confident within themselves. That's fine, but when it starts switching and changing the story of this mystery, it can kind of discredit at times, and it can just lead to just more confusion and just being kind of unnecessary. It's like, what's the point? That sort of thing. Is there anything else that needs to be covered? Well, you've got that division. Some people who might have more information are saying Kenny is alive, doing whatever. And then some people are still thinking of going out hiking in the area to find Kenny. Like Jay Silverheels. I don't think Jay Silverheels has been out since for a bit, fair enough. But he keeps saying how he's going to go out there, he's going to hike. And if he does, fine. But if Kenny is alive and not in the desert, is it not a waste of time going into the desert? Unless it's because the individual decides to for their own reason, because they just want to. Just like Jay Chuck, you know, he's been out there on several occasions, not directly looking for Kenny, but also doing it for his own reasons as well. So that makes sense. But if people are going to go out there and, you know, there's the possibility that Kenny is still alive somewhere else, it might be a waste of time, or maybe danger in doing some of it for no end result because Kenny simply isn't there. But, you know, equally there's still that division of, yeah, but is he? He could still be there. Is there enough evidence, is there enough proof at this moment in time to say he's definitely in the desert or he's definitely not? I'm just saying that from a general point of view, from the split between the people that know he's alive and then the rest of the people that probably don't have enough information themselves but still think he's in the desert, that are going to go back out there and look around. So there's that to take in mind. What else is there? The other thing to bring up on, Gene has appeared again, which is interesting. On one of my videos, might be my last one or the one before that. And he's going on about something about going back out there. I don't know if it was a mine or some kind of hole or something Kenny supposedly fell down in on the way to, I think, further on north, on the way to Hidden Forest, maybe, or maybe just before that. I can't remember. I'll show you a picture on screen now from what Gene said, but there was some kind of psychic reading, one of those again. So, yeah. Oh my. Yeah, psychic reading. It's just reminded me of that one where that guy, well, did it for about 1 to 2 hours on Kenny Veach. I don't know where he was, or he was in a house or something doing a reading on Kenny Veach somehow, and then I just gave my opinion on that video. It wasn't a long one, well, for obvious reasons, but now you've got another psychic reading. I don't know which psychic reader though, because there is two. I've not really bothered watching, but seen on like the front page or so. I don't know the names of them, but one of the psychic readings was, I think, an older person, female, and there was another one, not as old, I don't think, who was a female as well, did a psychic reading just recently. So I don't know if it's one of those two, or maybe someone completely different, but these psychic readers must have told Gene or so I think Jean was saying something about these psychic readers, or one of them is in contact with the family or someone, but they're not telling Jean about the information or something. Very weird, you know. I don't know if it's true. This is the thing, at times there's like that secrecy withholding information, and I don't mean the obvious important information. Maybe that's stuff you can't release right now. You've got to be patient, you've got to hold on. Yes, I've heard all that, I've seen that, that's okay. What about all the other stuff which might not be as important, or might be nothing, but why are they keeping it secret? Like, or is it that tactic, that method of pretending that you've got important stuff, pretending you know things, but to make it seem more real, to make it seem more believable, they keep it hidden, or they just drip feed along the way just to keep people interested and make people believe in it more. You know, there's that anticipation, people are getting really, you know, into it, they might believe in it more and might think, oh, there is something going on. Whereas if you just like throw it all out there, there's all the information, take it, maybe they won't believe in it because they'll be thinking, well, that was far too easy to receive all this information. I don't believe in it. That sort of thing. So, yeah. There's been a few characters along the way, to be honest, hasn't there? Yeah, a few characters along the way, including some I've come across. Oh, I just want to say quickly, you know, technically speaking, in like a live stream setting, this probably would have been a good video for a proper live stream. But in terms of when maybe more people are watching or people more engaged, it's at times and hours when I'm asleep, so it's not practical, okay? And to get as many people watching at the same time, or for at least more people to be able to, you know, message one another in the live chat, it has to be at a time when I'm asleep, you know. So yeah, okay, might not be most practical, but it's better than nothing. So you see those video premieres, this is one right now. Isn't that a bit weird? I know you're watching. I can see you in the chat. What are you thinking right now? I'm directly talking to the chat right now, but I have no idea what they are saying or what they are typing, because this video is pre-recorded much earlier on, and now it's set as a premiere right now. So I am a pre-recording, okay? I am not live. Well, it sounds really weird, that, like, going into the future. I know what's going on now. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're going to say next. But I don't, though, because this is a pre-recording. But it's a premiere, so it's technically live. Basically, what a premiere is where a video that's been uploaded, you can schedule it. So it becomes viewable, watchable, publicly at a certain time and date. And like a premiere, first time seeing it, it provides that live reaction. The chat is enabled, a live chat, because it's tied in with the video itself from start to finish, and then you can, you know, chat along the way. I mean, yeah, if I was awake as well, then yeah, I could send the odd message. I mean, I did, you know, before the video's gone live because of the time and stuff, but that's just how it works. And I think it's still practical, to be honest. You know, it's better than nothing, as I said. And for me, at least, in my opinion, with certain material, I can't do live streams like how certain people might, because I won't have enough information to talk about, or material. And yeah, you can talk about other stuff, whatever. But like I said, when it comes to doing videos in general, when it comes to talking about stuff, I am better talking about third person stuff or non-related stuff to me, about other things rather than myself. That's why partly I don't do live streams, okay? But I think live premieres are like the in-between thing, which kind of works for the best for everyone, I guess. So yeah, I guess that was just like a little break in between, because there is another thing I want to bring up. Okay, so as I was saying with characters, yes, there is another type of individual. Can't really say that because I don't know it's directly one individual, but you know, like how I was saying about, what was it? Yeah, like how I was saying about that, you know who with my profile picture, you know. Well, along the lines of that, if you link it back to previous video in the past, I think it was the second ever video I ever made on the mystery. It was. And it's to do with the keyhole. Now, the keyhole, when I first mentioned that and covered it, that area, that cave, the odd person showed up with resistance and warning and a cryptic presence. And it just so happens, just yesterday, I revisit that location and cover it in a video. And, you know, we're applying it to the same person, just with a different username. They show up again. So unless they've got an obsession with the area, or they are so engrossed with the keyhole that they want to insert something into that hole, I don't know. Well, if they do, I guess they can feel free to do so, but I don't think search and rescue will be willing to free you if you get stuck. But would you get stuck though? We're going off a bit there, but you know. So certain, as I was saying, like at the very start of this video, certain actions, saying certain stuff can, it's like almost summons people from the dead. Not literally though. Summons people out of nowhere. Whether it be an individual or group have had enough, so they make their presence known, they say it for how it is, they clear the air, reinforce things, make things more understandable, or you touch upon something and then you get the resistance, you get the backlash of people that either don't want you to cover that stuff, they want you to keep as far as away from it, or they want to kind of like toy with you, play around, one or the other. Do we have any other characters, other interesting individuals? Will this cause resistance? Well, it's not coming from my mind, okay? So, like one user who's been around for a bit, where do I start with in terms of the username? I don't even know where to start, because the username keeps changing, or they've got multiple different accounts. That's one thing I don't understand to begin with. It's that Russian person who's from Nepal. Melody, Nelia, Nepal, Nelia in Nepal, Nepal in Nelia. There's a lot of different usernames. It's supposedly all the same person. I don't know why they've got different accounts, but I'm just trying to think of all the different names. It's so confusing. Was it Melody Osrich something? Yeah, my mind is kind of malfunctioning at the moment. But yeah, that user, when I say user, I mean user on YouTube. They it's hard to understand them. That's because of the language barrier and stuff, and I think them speaking other different languages, so it's, you know, there's restrictions there. So it gets hard to understand what they're saying. But this is the thing, from what some people have said or touched upon very briefly, is it who they really are, or is it a fake person? Is it like is it a catfish account? Is it a male? Is it someone pretending to be someone else? Is it the ex of someone and they're secretly using that account? That's what we're getting at. Does it matter? Well, it doesn't really mean much to me. It doesn't link to me at all, but I'm just saying what some people have said. Now, when it comes, like I said, comes to these characters, these unique individuals that show up for whatever reason and they've got something to say, or they act in a certain way, behaviour, and you think, oh, I wonder why that's all happening. Is this another example, or is it just misunderstanding and that's it? I don't know. I think times when there's inconsistencies, don't quite add up, there's a change of story, that does reinforce that an individual probably is fake and not who they really are. Doesn't always apply, but you know, it has happened quite a few times. Maybe that's why those people are saying, oh, that user is probably some dodgy person, because they might have experienced it, encountered it in the past. That's why they think that way. Okay. But I just thought I'd just bring it up because, you know, they do leave a lot of comments, they do engage a lot on the channel, which is good. Got a lot of opinions, but it just gets a bit confusing. Maybe it's just that like language barrier, so choicing of words and sentences, it kind of creates a bit of confusion. But I think Jay Silverheels did something at one point. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, oh no. On a few occasions, Jay Silverheels did a bit of a really Robin at one point. Oh, that's gonna really piss him off. That's actually gonna really piss him off. That he's gonna think he's gonna get attacked by a bat again. Silverheels, there's a bat behind you right now. Don't turn around. Okay, don't turn around. There is Robin is dressed up as Batman. Okay. Right. Where was it? So what Silverheels did at one point, and you know, it's probably just messing around, but then again, I don't know with Silverheels at times. And I did mention it previously in the past, but I'm just going to mention it again because it is kind of funny, and it's to do with when Silverheels thought he was talking to Britney Spears. So there was a user called Britney Spears who is now called Leanna on YouTube. Seemed like a good person, and she was, I don't know, but like so he thought that was the celebrity, and because of the profile picture and the username, and then I think Silver Heels was like, I'm gonna bet $1 million or something that I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna find it in time, I'm gonna retrieve Kenny, and then you gotta buy me tickets to your next concert. Oh my god, a concert. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of funny and random at the same time. Thought it was the real person and stuff. Then what else is there? I think he was then starting going after Atari or something, saying, I need to take you out. I want to meet up with you. Let's go to a diner and dine. Something like that. Shit, I'm doing the wrong voice now. I'm doing Jay Chuck's cinematic voice. I'm getting confused. How do I do Silverheels? Actually, no, I can't, because I don't think I have done Silverheels' voice on camera because facial expressions aren't so pleasant. Well, not his, when I do it my way. When you do accents, when you've got to do impressions, you got to change your facial structures and stuff. Whether I'm doing a Japanese accent or a Chinese accent, doesn't look quite good. I look like I'm in pain when I do those. Would I do it now? No, because when it comes to doing certain stuff, you get a lot of resistance. You get people saying, oh, you're a racist for doing that, for saying it in that way. I'm just in a fucking accent, calm down. You know what I'm saying? But, is this any of this related to the mystery? You know what? In a sense it is, because this is just taking like a back... Do you know what? Did my phone screen flash then? That was a bit weird. I don't know if it did. But no, this is taking like a backdoor approach into looking and profiling individuals who are part of the mystery. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. That is really going to annoy Silverheels now. Because as he said, I ain't a part of this mystery. I'm not a part of this community whatsoever. Okay. Well, he kind of is in a way, but in his sense he isn't. He's in, he's out, in, out, in, out. 1 minute he's in a wheelchair, next minute he's not. He literally said it in a video where he said, anyway, I'm in a wheelchair. No, I'm not. What? I don't understand. And then there was some other video where he left in the phone call. There was some bloody phone ringing in the background. He's like, I'm going to keep this phone call in this video to make it really dramatic. I'm thinking, fucking hell, it's only a phone. It's not like a Nokia phone which detonates a bomb somewhere. Maybe it is. I don't know. So, yeah, there's definitely some interesting individuals. I think what Jeff Clark quoted at one point, when it comes to the M Cave Veach Mystery, it attracts all the nutcases and crazy people. In my opinion, I don't know if that's true. And if it was, it don't really bother me. You know, people are the way they are, fine, okay. Not much of an issue, to be honest. But can it become an issue when it comes to findings, when it comes to picking up on stuff? Maybe. And that's why, how I said earlier in this video, when it comes to discoveries and finding stuff, when there's nothing actually there, is it these nutcases coming in and wasting people's time? Just like how they might make their own videos here and there, the more like discreet ones, make it look a bit edited, a little bit visually weird and spooky. Is it all just like some waste of time, hype the mystery up, make it seem much bigger than what it is, and then make other people waste their time solving it, and it's like some game to them? Maybe, and that's probably what it means by Jeff Clark, attracting certain types of people. And then other people that might have strong beliefs in the UFOs, the aliens, extraterrestrial being involved in the Veach mystery. There's a lot, you know, if you did a lineup, you did. Now, if you had everyone all in the same room, scrap that, that's a very bad idea. It'd be like World War III. But let's just say you had everybody in one room. Who would those individuals be? So you had like Jay Silverheels, you had Jay Chuck, you had Jeff Clark, maybe Gene, some reptilians, some aliens, what else could there be? Skeletons, I don't know. What other people are there? Maybe Nelia trying to talk and people don't understand. You bring Sean in as well. It'd be like one, I don't know, it'd be like one massive, I can't really think, to be honest. I think it would just be pure chaos, to be honest. Silverheels, anyway. Jay Chuck, you'd probably be like, oh, these people, line of sight, are ruining my vision, just like the trees in the desert. You see, that's what you could say. I don't have, you know, quotes or lines for everybody when it comes to these characters, when it comes to these people. But, you know, saying, oh, Scott Natal could be in the room as well, and he'd be like, okay, because that's what he normally says. That's his like little catchphrase, his little line. I don't know what Jeff Clark's is. I don't know. He says LOL a lot. He'd probably be saying LOL a lot, well, just laughing outright. Yeah, that time when Jeff Clark said to me that he was laughing pretty hard, he nearly fell off his chair from one of the reaction videos of Silverheels when he got a bit spooked by Robin, and he thought someone was going to come to his house with a knife and carve him like a pumpkin and carve the letter M in his stomach. Shame I never watched that one. It would have been interesting to see. Maybe if you still got the video laying about, Silverheels, maybe upload it. Or maybe that's not a good idea, I don't know. Where was I with Silverheels in the first place? So I said Atari. You went for Atari, not in a bad way, just saying, oh, we should do this or we should do that or something. 1 minute he wants tickets to a Britney Spears concert, the next minute he's in a wheelchair, next minute he's not, next minute he's calling someone a camel. Jay Chuck comes in and talks about alligators. I'm waiting for the day when Jay Chuck comes in and starts talking about gorillas, because I like gorillas, so that'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? So yeah, This is a very random video, but you know, the early part of the video was like the main stuff, I guess. And that's when it comes to viewer attention and retention span, they tend to watch just the first few minutes of the video. So that's what they get. Whether it's the updates or the, you know, important stuff, that's why I did it in that format. And then now this is just a load of bollocks, to be honest. So who knows what will happen next as for this mystery. Who knows who will turn up next, I guess. That's what we should be saying, because, you know, I don't know if anyone can top current people and previous people. I don't know if anyone can outdo that, but, you know, maybe there's a chance. There's always time and place. As for covering mystery videos, I guess I can talk about that. Yeah, I might as well. So when it comes to doing mystery videos in general, for me, yeah, it can be a bit tiring, like all the research and mainly the editing part. You know, it's okay doing like the audio, telling the story or telling something, but when it comes to piecing it together, that is dragged out for sure. But the one thing that makes it unique with the Veach Mystery, the story has already been told. You know, in the past, the story has been told. It's fairly straightforward, the standard script. It's what follows afterwards, and that's when I stepped in, trying to solve or trying to look and analyse into what happened next. So you understand that theme. So when it comes to all these other mysteries out there, if they were to be covered, they need to be unsolved, obviously, but also for the story to be either straightforward, but for the outcome to be obscure. So there's a range of stuff that can be looked at. If it's not obscure and it's fairly linear, I don't think that's cut out for me, if that makes sense. And as well as material as well, the Veach Mystery, as far as covering it goes, is more practical because really no one else covers videos I have covered. Yeah, some of them where it does use other people's footage, credit to them for who have recorded it and stuff. It's been a part of a longer video, and I've covered like a focus on a highlight from that video which hasn't been covered or really mentioned much individually, but I have. Whereas when you get other mysteries out there, what the problem is it's either been talked about so much, it's been covered so much, you've got Reddit groups, you've got forums solving every single bit, every piece. And I can imagine if I did cover another mystery, yeah, pick up this, pick up that, but is it practical? Has it already been covered? Most likely, yes. So what's really the point? Because some of the more high profile, more high profile, more popular mysteries, there are some dedicated people involved in those stuff. I've seen it, I've come across it, where big YouTubers have reached out to the forums and the chats and have spread messages around, tried solving the codes, deciphering stuff. Much larger operation, much larger scale. And if I just suddenly went into a mystery, something like that, and tried picking up on something or covering it, it's probably been covered 1,000 times before that. It was probably solved 2-3 years earlier. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with the Veach Mystery, there is so much to cover because not too many people cover it themselves on YouTube. So that's what enables me to be able to do it. And there's a practical reason for doing it because really no one else is doing it. So I'm not repeating myself. But also, although this mystery might be quite old, 7 years old or something, 6-7 years old, there is new things coming out, new findings, new research, new information, which might actually be old stuff, but it's new in terms of actually coming across it now. You know, making note of it now, making it public now. So like Kenny's video, the 2014 one, you know, might find something within that. It might reveal something, and it's kind of new because it's not been seen before. And I guess because there's limited amount of people involved in the mystery or regularly interacting within the mystery, they might not cover it or they might not really mention it much. But if you've got, you know, much more dense, much more populated server, populated presence of people engaging in a mystery, it's going to be solved much quicker, or there'll be more debunking, there'll be more, you know, conclusions and quicker responses and stuff. And, you know, like how I've made videos, it might take me a bit of time to make one or to plan one. By then, someone might have already covered it or deciphered it immediately or done something in regards to another mystery. So it's just picking the correct one at the end of the day. And ultimately, it's also picking one that one is interested in, because even though granted you should be making videos or covering stuff for the sake of viewers, because they're the ones that watch and support the channel, that is true. Ultimately, it comes down to quality control and, you know, effort put in, and for a valid video to be made, the actual uploader, the actual creator needs to be interested or invested in the mystery in some form or another. Because if not, then, you know, might not put as much effort in, or the focus might not be quite there, or it doesn't seem as clear, there's not as much, you know, impact and weight behind it, so it doesn't, the actual viewing experience isn't quite there, isn't quite good. Whereas with the mystery of Kenny Veach and the M Cave itself, whichever one, you've got two mysteries in one, haven't you? You can either focus on one or the other, if not both. So there's like, you can work around it, you can cover different angles. If everyone's looking at one, you can look at the other. But then when you get a mystery of another individual, there might not be as much to work around. Trying to explain if that makes sense. Right, you know, there is one other mystery, there was one other missing person, which I will get to in a future video, and it is to do with, how should I say it? So you got Columbine 1999, an individual that covered that mystery. Not mystery, an individual that covered the event, and then there was a mystery in the person that covered it because they weren't quiet. So there is that. I will look into it because I am interested in it. Mainly because of Columbine itself, because I did look into it in the past. I looked into it in the past, and because there's like really only 2 channels covering that case, all the different theories, all the different ideas, viewpoints, reasons to why the individuals did it, all the explanations and unreleased stuff, certain research, hidden footage, unreleased footage, basement tapes and everything like that, covering everything. Yeah, that was interesting. And it has the same level as interest, in my opinion, to that as this Kenny Veach mystery. So yes, I can cover that disappearance case because I'm interested in it, okay? And I feel like I can make a decent video on it. Or I've got the odd bit of material to work with where I can give my opinion on it, or try and decipher it, or at least pass it on for people to decipher themselves. And there's not too many people, really anyone, looking at that mystery anymore. Really no one. And that's why it's useful for me, in my opinion. Yeah, so yeah, I can do that. Don't know when exactly, because I've got the odd few other stuff to upload, as I said. And, you know, try and clear some space up, clear the phone up, and then I'll have enough space to be able to cover the next thing. I mean, I did touch upon another mystery, didn't I? Mosaic Michelle, because that is another genuine, or at least online, missing case. Very weird, very strange, still no update on that. I know people are saying Facebook and stuff, but this is the thing, I am limited because I don't have a Facebook account, and I don't really want to create one just for the sake of that, okay? Yeah, I did actually have an account in the past, but I just can't bother making another one, to be honest. Don't want to have like lots of accounts all over the place, it just gets too messy and stuff. So that's why I'm limited. And I'll get into that in a second when it comes to the Kenny Veach mystery, because it's a valid point. But with Mosaic Michelle, because I actually knew the person to an extent, obviously, I was able to, you know, create a video in some way because I had a bit of information about them. So there was stuff to work with. And as far as the material, the media, I was very limited. Well, actually, I was 100%, no, not 100%, 90% limited. All the screenshots and photos were of comments they left. I had to use my memory to remind myself to track back to exactly where the comments were at on what video. I do remember, just like how I remember people, for the right reasons and wrong reasons. For the good people or bad people, I do remember certain things so I can track back fairly easy. So it's okay that. And because they were linked with the mystery anyway, the M Cave, it's like a mystery within a mystery within a mystery. So there's a lot to talk about. So it just made it a bit easier to make a video on it. Now in that case, that was actually telling a story, the events and everything leading up to it. Now I don't normally do that. Yes, I covered the mystery of Kenny Veach and M Cave for a very long time, but that was more in a sense of the after party, what happened next, what could have happened next. Whereas with the Mosaic Michelle one, that's from start of the events when I first met them, in like some kind of detail, going through what happened then, that event leading to that, to this, and then what happened to them, and then briefly touching upon could have been this, could have been that. But in that case, because no one covered that mystery before, no one has ever covered the mystery before, because no one really knew. So that's why I could, and it was practical for me to do that. But this was like a reverse one. The material limited what I had, and the way it happened, I was able to tell the story of the events and stuff leading up to the disappearance. But in that case, I couldn't continue it and then start, you know, looking at that area, looking into this, looking into that, like I've done with the Kenny Veach one. So there is a contrast between the two. With one, I can cover all the events and the story and the scripts and everything leading up to the disappearance. But then with the Kenny one, it's more to do with what happened afterwards. So yeah, I mean, I probably could tell the Kenny Veach story, but there isn't really any point because it's been said so many times. And to be honest, when I've done my videos, I kind of have told the story in brief. Sometimes I might repeat myself, which is probably a bit problematic, but you know, at least if you repeat yourself or you're a bit repetitive, at least you're consistent in what you say. So you're not switching and changing the story, like I said earlier on, the way some people can be. So that's kind of a good thing at times. I'm getting thirsty. Water. So, yeah, there is all that going on. Anything else? Mystery. Like I was saying, when it comes to other mysteries, it's just got to be the right one. And yeah, I've looked at a range of mysteries, but I think to myself, what is there to cover? What more can be looked at? And I'm thinking, is there enough to cover? What can be covered next? I mean, most recent one would be that, how do you say the name? Gabby Petito. That's how you say the name. I know Jay Silverheels has been covering that recently with his maps and everything, and you know, he's got footage or something of a bus or something. Maybe that's what I should do, cover that, because it's more recent. There might be more material because of it being more modern. There might be CCTV footage or, you know, videos of something. But there is one problem, and it does tie with other mysteries. You get this CCTV footage, news reports, articles, whatever. What about the copyright? That's where it gets messy. I mean, a little bit when it came to that CCTV footage, when applying it to the Kenny Veach mystery. I mean, it could be applied, but it wasn't directly in the Kenny Veach mystery, and it was more of like a news article, so it was a bit So, like when it comes to the mysteries, CCTV, when they showed that was the last time they were seen going out or heading somewhere, meeting someone, are you allowed to use that footage? Because it might say copyright, and then you don't want those issues, do you? Or you might see an article and you share it in the video, but then is that copyright? And then you might want to show a picture, all these pictures and albums of the individual, because you've seen people narrate mysteries and they keep showing pictures of the missing person, whether it be childhood photos, later on photos, school photos, I don't know, what, a bit dodgy that. They just show photos throughout, like a slideshow, just to fill the screen and stuff while they're talking over it. Well, that copyright issues there. Whereas with the Veach Mystery, copyright related stuff isn't that problematic in that sense, because quite a lot of the material and footage is either in the past or up to date, but it's at the hands and at the cost of other people voluntarily going out and then maybe allowing other people to use that footage to review and to look at. So for like between certain people, because it's YouTubers covering something, YouTubers going out there maybe, and then there's other YouTubers reviewing the footage, telling the story, giving ideas and theories. There'll be like connections between one another. But then when you've got these other mysteries out there where you might have to use other platforms, or there's like some news channels, and you try reach out to them and say, can I use this, can I use that, can you give me this information, can I cover it in my video? Are they likely to respond? No. And even like the bigger YouTubers on other mysteries, what's the likely chance they're gonna allow you to use certain footage? I mean, yeah, it has kind of worked with the Veach one, okay, but it doesn't always work. Like Explore with Us, to an extent, there can be delays in responses, and you think, oh, yes, no, I don't know, do I wait, I don't know. And in other cases where they just outright don't say anything at all, and you think, well, what do I do? To make the video good enough, to make it fairly engaging, or to actually prove a point, to put something across, you need the picture, you need the statement, you need that evidence, you need that material. But if you're not allowed to use it, or they're not gonna say it, then what do you do? Whereas at least in the Veach Mystery, most of the stuff is accessible. Okay, there might be only limited amounts at certain points in time. Sometimes you might have to reach and go in deeper, like how Atari did when researching stuff online. But at least it is somewhat accessible, which is good. And that's where it ties into that earlier point what I said about the Facebook. This is the thing, when it comes to Facebook and the accounts and other stuff as well, which I'll get to, if people have said, oh, you should look into this, or why have you not gone on that profile? Well, it's because I just don't have an account. There's certain videos I could have made where I might have seen a comment, I might have seen something left by Kenny at a certain point in time. I could have checked to see if there was like a difference, comparison. Has anything changed since? Has anything disappeared since? Has anything been added? But because I don't have a Facebook account, I can't go on the site, I can't look at the individual. You can't search for the person because it says you need an account to sign into this. So then when I make certain videos, I'm like, I don't know if it's there. I don't know if it's disappeared. It could be there. I don't know. And that's what tends to happen most of the time, because I don't know, because I can't access it. I can't see it. So there isn't much I can do about that, from my point of view, at least. I know you say, create an account. Well, yeah, I don't really want to be honest. Is that my own fault? You could say that, but at the same time you could say, well, it's not my fault that it's restricted the way Facebook is, because to be honest, Twitter, at a certain point in time, you could still search for users, you could still check profiles. Yes, you couldn't leave a comment, or you couldn't check comments, but you could still see media, you could see tweets and stuff without signing in. I don't know if it's still like that now, but you could, at least in the past, so that wasn't as restrictive. Look at YouTube. You can check the comments, you can check the replies, you can check the about section, you can check the homepage of the individual. That's accessible. That's how I saw the playlist, how it appeared and then disappeared. And that's how I saw how certain playlists were updated at a certain point in time. Kenny's ex-girlfriend. And maybe profile picture changing or something. So yeah, there's limitations in certain areas. And that's why other people like Atari can cover videos and stuff, which is good of them to do that. Like others shared the odd screenshot with me, which is good and helpful, because they have an account, or someone they know has an account. So They can reach out better. And this as well, comments, searching for comments. So like Atari, yeah, she's found comments to do with Kenny Veach, like the recent ones, which, you know, kind of got a bit messy because it was cleared up in the end and resolved as it was some bot account or something. You have to look at the video yourself on their channel. But as for searching for YouTube comments, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how you do that really, because like Atari went on Google, or was it on Duck whatever, and type in something and then it just comes up with like entire logs, search results of every comment left by the name of the user. Now when I tried searching for that sort of stuff, I couldn't find anything. I tried typing it in, won't come up with anything whatsoever. So maybe it's the wrong search engine I use, maybe it's the wrong choice of words I use when typing in stuff. It could be any of that, or it could be all of that, maybe. So that kind of limits me to what I can make or cover. And, you know, in a way it's good, it's a natural thing, because then it enables other people to cover other stuff because they've got better resources, or they've just got, or they know what to look for. I look into certain stuff, they look into other stuff, so I guess it works naturally. So yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. Is there anything else? Well, I think it was like Gene as well. Someone was like talking about searching for Gene. Yeah. You know, I don't know to take a picture of the sky because the colour of it, it's like purple, it's pink, kind of grey. It looks good, but you know, when you take certain pictures, I think the background's kind of gone a bit purple, a bit of a fade or something, maybe. But when it comes to taking certain pictures, what can happen at times is it looks good when you visually see it, but then you take a picture of it and it's like, not that great. I don't like it. Bit blurry. Doesn't look as good as what you see from your own eyes. And, you know, other times it can be the complete opposite. And that has happened. So, yeah. But anyway, as with Gene, that individual, like how we were talking about characters earlier on, you've got Gene. Some people did search for him as well. What was it? I don't even know, called Project something. That sounds really dodgy, that, doesn't it? But Gene was ex-military commander or something to do with military. He was involved in some alien forum or discussion. I don't know, to be honest. I can't remember. I couldn't find anything, and that's what I'm, you know, getting at, because I'm probably using the wrong search engine. I'm probably typing in the wrong keywords, so it restricts me, it limits me. So, you know, I just thought I'd put that in just to explain that area. Is there anything else to mention? What I will say is this video was only supposed to be 10 minutes long, and it's probably about an hour long, but I just thought experiment at the same time, because although this isn't directly a live stream, as I said, it's still a Premiere live chat thing, so it enables people to communicate in between in the chat. Obviously you can't ask me questions because you're talking to a brick wall, obviously, but the longer the video, the more chance for people to come in at a certain time or so. Whereas like when I've done videos which are about maybe 10-20 minutes long, I might schedule it at a certain time, and that might be 20 to 40 minutes too early or too late for some people. So by the time they get in, the video's already ended and the chat has ended as well. The chat starts when the video starts and the chat ends when the video ends. And then that's it. Is it different to live streaming? Because when I've seen live streams, I've seen it where a live stream has ended, but the live chat is still going. Now, maybe it times out eventually, but I have seen it where it looks like it times out. No, I've seen it where it looks like it's still going on. People are still having conversations and talking, but the chat itself is, the video itself, the live video, it's gone. So I don't know. I guess with video premieres though, that's different. So I guess with this video being longer, it either enables people to listen to this actual video, or maybe it helps them fall asleep, or maybe it enables people to communicate with one another in the chat log and talk about the mystery itself or whatever else, I don't know. So, you know, there's direct and indirect positives and causes of stuff, just like the mystery. Or can we all psychological explanations and reasons, always like factors and points which can cause things to happen or enable stuff, whatever it may be. I was trying to think, is there anything else left untouched? Yeah. I'll say one thing though, because this isn't a live video, it's going to be an absolute pain to edit, because there is moments in this video where I've paused, stopped, took a deep breath, because I get breathless. Yeah, breathless. Why? I don't know. But like now, you see that pause, and then there's like some other ones as well. I'm going to cut them out, edit them out, because it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really help, I don't think. But I didn't timestamp, I didn't make note of when I messed up or made a mistake, so that's going to be fun to track through. The video is 1 hour long. I think I'll be okay exporting it. Well, I hope I'll be okay exporting it. Longest one I exported was nearly 2 hours long. But that was like, how do I word it, to be honest? I don't know. It wasn't mystery related, it was something else, just, you know, in the background and stuff. And that worked. What I will say is, what I have noticed when it's come to, you know, uploading, exporting videos, it has become a bit dodgy at times. And what I mean by dodgy is, you know, when you're exporting it, something ends up glitching, which isn't good. And I first noticed it when I uploaded that map video. Not the recent map one, the land takeover, but I think it was the one to do with Kenny's scent being found Pine Up Road. When I exported that one and uploaded it, I just assumed that it would work, it would be fine, because, you know, I've done it all the other times in the past. And yet, when I uploaded that one, found out the next day that some people were saying, oh, it was like shaking the screen and juttering, and, you know, it was shaking and flashing, and it was, and that was pretty bad. I mean, it was later on in the video, but still it ruined it. It was annoying. So what I did was I made the video private in the end, because I thought, what's the point? And then I re-uploaded it again. And yeah, just for a better viewing experience, as I said in the comment section. What else was there? The last video I did of the map one, the military land takeover, that was an absolute pain. I had to work it out for myself. Ooh, what a big boy, Andrew. No, I had to work it out for myself because there was like overlapping in audio. So towards the end, as I start talking into the next chapter, previous audio of the earlier chapter starts playing on top of this current audio. And, you know, I think that put people in a bit of a breakdown if they started listening to that, like PTSD, all these voices out of nowhere coming in. Some heels will probably get really creeped out by it, to be honest. I don't blame you, to be honest. And something like that could happen. Do you know what? It's weird. I'll say something really weird. What would that be? I don't know. Right now, I'm sensing that the way I am sat, maybe the top I'm wearing, the way I'm talking, or the video I'm making right now and looking out there, is almost like the same exact setting as what has happened previously when I've done a video. But I don't think it's ever happened. I don't know how to explain it, where it feels like, oh, I've experienced this before, and it's never happened until now, right now. I don't know, weird. Maybe you will know. I don't mean like coincidence, I mean like, you know the outcome of something, or you sense you've experienced it before, but this is your first time experiencing it, whatever it may be. That's what's going through my mind at the moment, so that's a bit weird. I think the room's getting a bit darker, but I think the quality's still okay. So as I was saying, with editing that video at the time, yeah, the audio overlapping was weird. And it's like, how do I fix it? What do I do? I did try looking around. Someone said something like, if the audio overlaps into another video, the next video in the timeline, it can cause issues. But I'm thinking, yeah, but most of my videos have bloody audio overlapping one another. That's just how it works. So it couldn't have been that. But what I did do was I just shortened some of the audio that did overlap into one another and just moved it onto the next slide. And I was able to. I left the music as it was because the music wasn't the issue. It was the audio of my voice, which was in an MP3 file added on in sort of foreground, whilst the background music was in the background, and then the video was on top of all that. Yeah. So because of all that, as I just cut down the foreground audio so it didn't overlap one another, and it still didn't work. It was still overlapping in a key area. So I thought, do you know what? I'll look in that key area of where it is overlapping, go to that previous video of where the audio is overlapping the newer audio. And I was thinking, right, how do I work this? Because this is a video. So what I did, I actually clicked detach. I detached the audio from that video and it went below the timeline. And because of that, the video itself was muted, but the audio was still playing in sync. But I noticed when I extracted it and it became separate from the video, it was overlapping. So I trimmed it down a bit and it worked. I exported it and it was fixed. After all that, it was fixed. So yeah, it's been a bit dodgy at times. I thought maybe it could have been an update. It went crashing. But no, it wasn't in the end, so at least I fixed it. But what was it? Actually, no, there was one where there was a problem. I was trying to think what exactly was it, and I couldn't fix it. Yeah, I know it now. So when I originally made one of my more cinematic ones in the past, when I was talking about Las Vegas, when I introduced it and I said, welcome, city, bright colourful lights, incandescent lights, and then you got the desert. That video, I can't remember what it was actually really talking about, but that's like the theme of what I was talking about, Las Vegas, and then you got the desert, and then talk about whatever happened in that. When I made that video, when it came to exporting it, I simply couldn't. I couldn't export it. It was the first time I started using higher quality clips and stuff in terms of getting a hold of them, and wanted it to export because it was the first time it would have looked visually better, and in the end I couldn't. On the bar, as it moves across the progress bar, it would freeze at the halfway line, sometimes much before that, sometimes 75% in to exporting, it would freeze. And then you're like, oh great. And it took quite a while as well for it to export, you know, because it's a long video, it's a big video, so you keep retrying, you keep adding or deleting something or slightly altering something within the timeline just in case there's anything corrupted or whatnot, and in hopes of it working, and it still didn't fix it. And it took a lot of time, it was very annoying. People were saying, oh, it's because if you've got a clip in the timeline where it's in slow motion, you got to set the speed of it to normal speed, and you got to detach the audio. I did all that, it didn't fix it, so there was a lot of time wastage. It wasn't resolved, so do you know what I had to do? I had to play the video in the studio of that app, and I had to re-record it with a screen recorder. It worked, quality-wise, slightly downgraded to 720, not 1080, which is annoying. But at least I got the video out, but, you know, when you get those moments, it becomes annoying. I just hope it doesn't happen for this video, because it would have been a waste. Sat here for about an hour or more talking for no reason. So yeah. Do I have any other predictions with the mystery? Well, as I said, at the end of the day, this mystery, that sense of it coming to a conclusion, well, yeah, if the right people are around at the time and they come out with the information they are holding on to, then yeah, conclusion. At this moment in time, you know, things have been halted, I guess. Some people will be rolling their eyes back. Oh, no surprise. Yeah, understandable. That's why, as I said, I don't go all in, because I end up looking like a prat afterwards. Maybe I do a good job acting like a prat to begin with. Maybe. Well, that's unfortunate if that's the case. But as for any other predictions go, as I said, yeah, it's interesting. I mentioned about TikTok. Now, although it happened beforehand, I think, I made the prediction at the time when I wasn't aware of it, in a sense. And I was just saying how, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if people from TikTok or something end up covering the mystery in some way or another, mainly towards the end, when or if it's been solved. And just recently, 1 or 2 people have covered the mystery on TikTok, you know, same old script, unfortunately. But then, you know, I guess it's gained a bit more attention since, so kind of coincidental timing in a way, based off from my point of view of when I didn't know that it was going around until after making a prediction. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I can't really issue any other more predictions because I don't think it does much good. What's my opinion on psychic reading? It's almost like I was just answering a question from the chat then. As I said, this is not directly a live video of me, okay? Whoa. Wait, I don't know if my eyes were playing up then, but I'm sure I saw something dark pass by me then. That's my boy. Well, might not be a male, could be a female. I don't know. I don't know who's going to show up. What am I saying? Might be Grace. Grace might turn up out of nowhere. Who is Grace? You may not know. I do know. But, you know, it might have just been because I think being more practical is probably because we're getting darker and I'm kind of looking at a bright screen and looking down at the same time. When you look up quick, you might see something which isn't there. And I guess with the focus of the camera, the fuzziness of the dark, it creates that distortion effect, which we can tie in right now with like that previous video I just made to do with what was it? That rock in the cave, how that thing creeped around like that, how it just appeared. So, yeah. Once again, you know, you can always link and apply things. The weird noise then, tapping sound. You can like always link and apply things here and now on the spot to the mystery. Or if I'm playing a video game, you can suddenly apply video games or something you think long enough. So yeah. What was I originally going to say though? I can't remember. Was it to do with my opinion on the psychic readings? Or is it something else? But I had to give my opinion on the psychic readings. Okay, yeah, they do what they do because that's probably what they're good at, or that's their job, I don't know. But could they be doing more, or should they be going to the location where Kenny was or has been and then doing a reading of some sort? Maybe it could be a bit more effective, maybe. Yeah, anything else? Any other random points I can think of? I remember someone was saying about the door in the background, thinking, I wonder if it will ever open out of nowhere. Will the door open right now? Well, if it does, I will hear it because the way it's been fitted on, it catches on the carpet, so you'll hear a noise. So if anything decides to turn up, I don't know. Maybe someone thinks, oh, I will join this live stream. And they turn up, go through the door. Oh, hi there. Hello there. Anyway, I'm doing a video right now. Why does it sound like I'm having a conversation with myself? Well, technically I am because this ain't live. So there you go. But yeah, the door opens. I think someone was making a joke. It hasn't opened. But who knows? Anything could happen. I think the top of my head's starting to disappear. Not because I'm becoming a bit more brain dead or dead on the inside by the day, but it's because of the hair colour, my hair colour. And unfortunately, what it's actually creating now is almost like the silhouette of, oh my God, why does this have to happen? It's like I did a previous video in the past, and it was, I can actually remember it. The mystery, the MK video where I talked about Kenny Veach fake fans, where people are suddenly coming in with all this positive support. Oh, Kenny was such a nice guy. Oh, I could have deeply connected with him. Oh my God, we can so emotional connection. Oh my God. So like that, I'm thinking, what are you on about? You don't even know the person. You weren't even around at the time. So why are you acting like this, like, oh, really nice, positive stuff? You know, like the same happens where you might get a school shooter, you might get someone that's been treated like an animal, treated like bad, and then they react badly, do something bad, or do something bad to themselves, and then you know, once they're gone, all these people come in and say all nice stuff. What good does it do? It's fake. It doesn't help. And that's just like how when I've done my videos and I've been talking about how, well, you know, yeah, I'm interested in the mystery, maybe more to the M Cave itself. I don't have a deep connection or really a connection with Kenny because I don't know the person. I never knew the person. I wasn't friends with the person. I'm just being honest. You know, all these other people come in, fake. What good does it do? So along that video, what I did, listen off the hair, the way my hair was at the time, or at least the way it was positioned, I think I just saw a bat fly across. Hey, it's Robin. Robin, where are you? That's the bed making the noise. Robin, where are you? He's gone. He's gone. Silverheels, get him back with your net. Or J Chuck, you wanted to go after something with wings. There is something then flying past with wings. It's your time, J Chuck. It's your calling. Aside from the French Foreign Legion, it's time to march out there and grab that creature by the wings, pull it down to earth, and then, I don't know, do whatever with it. Yeah. You see, I'm getting interrupted, distracted by all these things going on. But as I said, with the hair, when I did that video about fake people, the way my hair was, it was shaped like the letter M Cave. So I thought, great. If you look at the way it goes up and the way it goes down, maybe I am the key to the M Cave. How unfortunate. Now my luck, like how it is with people, I'll probably get rejected by the cave or something. I'll probably get turned down by the cave. You ain't coming in. We don't want you. Okay. Well, I've experienced it before, so it's a shame. But yeah. It's funny how I just remember certain things or pick up on previous videos I've covered, because there's either a link to it or something. Oh, one thing I will say is, no one mentioned it or brought it up. It's probably good, to be honest, so there's no confusion. If I do certain videos in this setting, this scenery, preferably when it's lighter, if you do see any dust particles, well, I'm giving it away now. If you see any like orbs, white stuff floating past or whatever, it's just dust particles. I can actually see them myself. Not now, but you know, when it's a bit sunny or when it's a bit bright and it's like daytime, you can see the stuff floating around. So that's all it is, okay? And when I upload some other video, which will be some kind of exploring one, when I do that one, you might think, oh, what's all this like white stuff in the air, this atmosphere? It's just, you know, the breath, because the cold and the hot and the cold air meeting one another. It's not some like ghostly mist or anything. I mean, there's no point me bringing it up now. I might as well just bring it up when I upload a video, because maybe not everyone's going to be watching this, okay? I don't know if it's becoming a bit blurry, the face, the quality, because you know, nighttime recording on a phone isn't great, just the way it is. So maybe it's almost time to stop recording, I guess. Yeah. It's weird, is that it might be different when the brightness is turned up. You might still be able to see quite a lot, but my reflection right now, well, not reflection, because I'm using the front facing camera so I can see what I'm doing. It's that sense of all I can actually see myself. is my face, my hand, my neck, bit at the top, that little red thing, which is that like alarm clock. So I can't see anything else. So I could be talking, and then all of a sudden, I don't really have any objects. Suddenly, I could be talking like this, and suddenly some hand grabs me or something, or I'm not that flexible. Suddenly, some hand comes in and then pulls me back like that. It probably looks really stupid doing that if people have got the brightness turned up all the way, because there's literally nothing behind. So, but you know, remind me of those horror films, more of the social networking ones, or some kind of webcam where you got people talking with one another in a voice call, video call. Technically, I've never been in a video call. You put aside that interview, what I did, I've never been in a video call because no one's wanted me to be in one. Not been in a position, practical one, I'd say. Well, actually, no, I was supposed to be in one, actually. Yeah. On numerous occasions. But it was always postponed. And why? Well, I don't know. It was unfortunate though, because it would have been good, but unfortunately the individual just kept postponing it, and it's almost like they didn't want to in the end, but at the same time they did. This is what I mean when it comes to certain humans. The way they just switch and change really isn't helpful. And it most certainly is not helpful when it comes to general public, when it comes to everyday nice people, or somewhat nice people, or when it comes to those isolated, specific encounters with people in which they're either broken and you think, okay, they're going to be harmless, or they might just be functional and nice and normal, whatever, but they're understanding. And yet when those people do it, when those people act out, that impacts more, that causes more damage, to be honest, because you think, oh, you're the least likely person I thought was going to do that, and you end up doing it. Not great. But what was I saying? So like with, you know, the video calls, horror films, someone's in one, just happens to be a dark room. Isn't that typical? Dark room, just like now. Well, from what I can see at least. And they could be talking like this. They could be rocking back and forth. I don't know why you'd be doing that unless you're praying, maybe. And all of a sudden, suddenly, they're talking like, "Oh, are you still there? Hello? Is the signal still there? Can you hear me? Can you still see me?" And then suddenly, ow, like that, and they get pulled back. I just banged my head on something on the bed, which kind of hurt. So that was interesting. But yeah, suddenly it pulled back, or like to the side, like that. This bed is broken, the way it sounds. And then it's like, oh, what's happening? And the next thing, suddenly it's like, hello there. But obviously not with the same face. Maybe I can get away with it because my face does scare certain people. Oh, well, some people seem disgusted in my face when it comes to face. Not much I can do about that. But yeah, they suddenly reappear on the screen, and then something's happened. They might be bloodied, might be a completely different person, they might have a mask on, I don't know. It just reminds me of the horror films. You know, I don't really watch horror films because they play my mind. I've seen gory ones and that's about it, but nothing else. Just the way I think. So yeah, just for the sake of this video, for the sake of editing and everything, I'll probably end the video now, okay? This is probably the longest non-live stream, technically live video premieres I've done. Interesting. Don't think it's as long as the interview though. You know, that interview I did. That was about 1 hour 55 seconds, and to be honest, at the time then, it did go fairly quick, to be fair, which was good. When they did well with the questions and stuff. I mean, first ever video kind of like interview I've ever done. I guess you want to call it a video call in that sense. First ever one I've ever done. So I didn't know how I was going to be, or how I was going to act in a sense, or do I have enough to say? Am I going to stutter? It's going to be an awkward silence, but no, it's fine. But then again, like I said, it was because it was talking about third person or other related things and not just me, so it was easier in that sense. So yeah. But what I will say is before the darkness comes in and I fade away, is there's a chance there might be another interview coming, not with me, but with another individual. Just have to wait and see. If it does happen, good, I'll share a link or something on the channel, whatever, video or community tab, and then you can watch it that way. But depends if it fully happens or not, because Jay Silverheels was supposed to be doing an interview, never happened, so who knows. Anyway, that's that coincidental. Anyway, we'll leave the video there, okay? So, you know, most part of this video, randomly talking, still relatable to the mystery in some way, so still valid points to be made. But I think some people were saying that listening to the videos or maybe the audio helps them in a way. Maybe this does. Or maybe it does the complete opposite. That'd be typical of that, because sometimes when I have helped with something or helped someone, I end up causing more trouble than it's worth. Well, not always, but sometimes. It's a bit typical, isn't it? You know, you come in and say, okay, I'll fix the door. And then you end up walking away with the door. And you think, oh, how did that happen? And then when you may, there's no point really questioning. It just happens. So, okay. Hope you enjoyed the video, or part of it at least, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.